Update 1.2.3 is finally here. Right to Rule is here, and it has Rob and I immediately asking the question, what is next for Civ 7? Hey everyone, this is Connor here at Civ House, joined by Rob today, and we just kind of want to freelance, kind of talk about this because it's a question that Rob actually posed to me, and it's one that I immediately got me thinking. We really don't know what's coming for this game after September. We get the second iteration of Right to Rule, obviously coming out pretty soon with another leader and some civs, but yeah, Rob, we just wanted to dive into what is next for Civ 7. Excited to have this discussion.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited about it. Quick shout out to our members, Jacobiened specifically being at the highest tier. As always, guys, if you want to support the channel, joining as a member helps us out quite a bit, to say the least. Also, like and subscribe if you guys are new. Do it. Let us know in the comment section what you guys think is going to be coming next as well. But let's get into it here, Connor, because I think this is a really important question, right? We have been talking about forever. When is Right to Rule coming out? I think one of our best videos in the last couple weeks was me just posing that question.
Yeah.
When are we going to learn more about it? When's it going to come out? They surprise drop it, for the most part. We knew it was coming out later in the summer. I assumed that was going to be August. Very wrong about that. It is officially, out now. The first part, we'll get Lakshmi by. I hope that I'm saying that right. And then I forget the other two civs that are coming out. Totally brain fogging right now. But, all that'll be coming out. And I think that'll be great. We've got a lot of conversation as well around the DLC, which I think we'll have a discussion about here. Like, what should future DLC look like? We'll talk about it a little bit here, but I think I want to make a deeper video about that one, Connor.
Sure.
I think that'll actually be important. I don't want to forget that. I'm putting that in our chat right now. But there's just... the roadmap is closed now, essentially, right? We know that there's something else coming out later this year. I'll bring up that Civ 7 roadmap actually, and we'll see kind of how things are looking in comparison. But there's not a whole lot that we know, and I figured, why not ask now? Now feels like the perfect time for us to dive a little bit deeper, because it says October, right? So we literally have in the roadmap, I'm looking at it,
I'll put it on screen.
April to September was going to be Right to Rule. So Right to Rule had to come out by September, essentially. It means we're going to be getting something new in October.
Yeah.
What is that going to be?
Yeah, and I think I talked about this in the last video I put out, I think before the Genghaskhan gameplay, whatnot that you're seeing on screen now, but we talked a little bit about that update 1.2.3 patch, walked through it, and one of the lines from either it was the video or the actual patch article on the Civ website, I'm not sure which, but basically they were making the point that they were doing changes in 1.2.3 that were kind of like setup changes. Like they're trying to make changes to lay a groundwork for what is to come, and they foreshadowed big changes coming. So there's a lot of games. We got done covering Deadlock on our channel, Dead Unlocked, who's also making some big changes. It feels like there are a lot of these coming right now. And I think, Rob, there's no doubt in my mind, I'm gonna put this out there as my kind of claim for what is coming. I think we get a new age in October or November, but in Q4, we get a new age added to the game. Now, I know you want a medieval age. You've been very vocal about it on this channel, and I support you in that, Rob. I really do. But I don't think that's what we're going to get. I think that would be the better play, to be fair. I think more people would be excited about more early game to dig into, more of that, more rudimentary technologies, more development of the arts and culture. That period of history, I think, is a lot more fun in a sandbox game like Civ. That's just personally why I think it would be better. But I think we are going to get a atomic age or a true modern age in this next in Q4. I think that's the biggest thing that's coming. Now they may make some large scale kind of framework changes as well. I think that could totally fit in, and we should continue to get new leaders and civs. I don't know that we will in specifically Q4 of 25. I think Right to Rule might kind of cap that for the year. Could be wrong, but I feel like the way I kind of see this playing out, right, is you add a bunch of new civs and leaders in Right to Rule that have just come out now. Now, these are paywalled, which sucks. But I think now that is kind of out of the way, quote unquote, I think now some other parts of the game start to get some love. Maybe we get more map types. I think age is like a very clear indicator, right? We could get, who's to say, right? We don't get a 5th legacy path. Like, I mean, who's to say we don't get a 5th and a 6th legacy path? I mean, who's to say that system doesn't get reworked totally? I think what is fun about this discussion, Rob, is that we really can I mean, we can... You said the roadmap was closed. I think it's like it's open. I mean, it's like we have no... and I know that's what you meant. Yeah. But I think, like, I'm left... My mind is left to wonder what could be next, truly. And so my best guess, ages and legacy paths are kind of where they'll turn.
I think so as well. I think they have been listening pretty well. There are a lot of people complaining, by the way. $30 for 2 liters, 4 civs, couple wonders. I don't think people are really vibing with it. And I think, there was an interesting point either made on Reddit or in our comments section. I can't remember exactly what it was, but somebody made the point that, like, the problem is that the DLC in the past felt like, the bigger ones, the $30 ones, stuff like that, felt like it was changing the game fundamentally, right? So it felt like it was worth it. What I'm really afraid of that I think might happen, because I think you're right, I think we are going to get a new age. I think what they might end up doing, and God, please do not get mad at me for this. I'm not speaking into existence. I think they are already kind of planning on this. I think it might be a $60 new age DLC. I'm just putting it out there because the way that they're already pricing everything at 30, if they're going to fundamentally change the game, and I mean, because like to even launch a new age, think about all the new leaders you're going to need, or well, specifically all the new civs that you're going to need. They're going to have to, I think, they're already revamping age transitions.
Yeah.
All of these different things. I have 2 other predictions. We'll get into those as well. Hopefully, we'll see.
Yeah.
But this is my first one. After hearing what you were saying, my first thought was, oh no.
Yeah.
They're going to drop an age that is behind it because... And look, like, you can wait a year and it'll probably be like 15 or 20 bucks, on Steam sale for next year.
Yeah.
But, like, you don't get to play the game the way that you want to. Now, I would love for them to prove us wrong and be like, you know what, guys, like... They made a lot of money at the beginning of this. They can afford to put in a new age with new, not have to be paid for leaders and civs. Yep. Because that's the big problem, Connor, is you can't drop that extra age without new civs. You just can't. It's impossible.
No. Yeah.
Right? And so I know that everybody is going to hate me for saying that. And maybe I hope you guys don't direct your hate at me, but I could totally see that happening. So that's my response to you. I do have a thought on legacy pass I will talk about here in a second, because I think there's one thing, I keep saying in a second, at some point in this video.
Yeah.
But no, I'll wait, because I think there's a deeper discussion we had about this.
Okay.
And then I've got one for your legacy path, because I think you're spot on with both of these right now.
Yeah. I think, I'm with you. I mean, it would be a matter of how many, I'd have to think back to how many civs were in each age when the game launched. I would guess it's like 6 or 8. I think we're around that amount of options. I think that you'd have to have that. Now the question of whether it'll be paid or not is purely speculation for both of us. I would actually tend to think, based on kind of the response to community sentiment, they would make something like that free as a way to like PR their way back into people's favor. I don't really know though. I mean, it's hard to say. Now I will say, for what it's worth. We're watching me play Genghaskhan. If you want to watch that full video, it's on the channel. Just came out. This is the most fun I've had in a Civ game in a long time. And I think I mentioned at the very end of the video, which no one will be watching. It's 80 minutes long. People will be gone by then. So I'll say it here. I think I had fun in this game because of the changes that were made. Not just because it was a fun map with a fun seed or whatever. I think it was actually because the changes that were made, the things that were added. Specifically the things that were added. Genghaskhan and Assyria are super fun to play. Broken, but very fun to play. If they can keep doing that, and if they did it one time that was free, I think it would change people's minds way more than Firaxis understands. I think it would be such a huge momentum swing for the game if they did that. I mean, to your point, I could see them charging $60 for it, $30 for it, whatever. I think that'd be a massive mistake. They should just release a 5th age with 6 civs or whatever, and be like, thank you for sticking with us for the first 6 months of this game. Here's our thank you back.
Yeah. I think that'd be the best way to go about it. 10 civs, by the way, in each
10, okay.
age.
That's a lot.
So,
it is a lot.
It is a lot. There's no shot in my mind that they're dropping 10 civs for free and probably a couple liters, too.
Yeah, there's no way.
I just can't imagine. Now, I think it would be smart
Yeah.
I think that would be the right way to go about it. Either that or you drop like 6 and then there are 2 that are locked behind.
But like, how do you add an age and make people pay for it? Like, just what, for some people the game just ends, for others it keeps going? Like mechanically in the game, possible. I think it would be hard because like you'd have to code if it's an autonomous.
That's the beautiful dude. Yeah. That's the beautiful thing about the game, right? Is with the ages, beautiful for them. I think when that age ends, it's like starting a new game.
Yeah.
I could see it happening. I'm not convinced that that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I could see it happening. Like if I had to put, we've got a lot of time between now and then. I would say it's like 70% chance that they don't, 30% chance that they do. I think the next, my point that I was going to make as well was that, we know up through now, we know what's happening in September. We don't know what's happening in August yet as well, by the way.
Yeah.
So we have that month where next month is going to be a big update for them, right? On updating us about the game.
Yeah.
What is going to be coming next? I guarantee you a roadmap will be out sometime next month, sometime probably near the middle or end of next month. And I think that's going to really determine what we are doing next. And I think that if they put out another DLC and they say it's $30, I can totally see them putting that age out there for 60, man. I just can. Yeah, I know that people would hate it. But, actually, let me check one more thing. How much are the Paradox ones going for when they do like a big, big patch? Let me see here, because I know that you can. So let's just go to... Oh, okay, here we go. Here's some. So $20 for CK3 for some of their stuff. See, Skylines, most of them are like $6, that kind of stuff.
It just depends on the amount of substance.
Here's an example.
Yeah.
Chapter 4 for CK3, $44.
Yeah, I think for me...
Hey, I'm bringing it closer to 50-50 here.
Yeah, I think I would be more on board with that if it was at the end of the first year of the game. This just feels too soon for an update of that size, of that cost. But, I mean, it is... this is not the first time this has happened with Civ games where it's like a substantial update that does cost money somewhat early on. But I don't know. I mean, I think we can move on to Legacy Paths because we're just speculating to speculate, right? But I don't know. I do think this is super interesting to think about.
You guys will have to let us know what you think because I'm really open to all possibilities here. In terms of Legacy Paths, I think you're 100% right. I think along with age transitions, they already said that they were retuning these. I think they're going to change them completely. It will be very different than what it launched with. Truthfully, I think they are completely overhauling it. I think that'll be part of what comes in October as well. Like, I think October, November, December, which add on to our freaking load in October, Connor. But I think that's going to be where a lot of this stuff is going to drop. And I think they're going to add religion. They've already mentioned the fact that they are working on something new for religion with, I think it was maybe 2 updates ago. It's maybe May or June.
Yeah, continuing to work on it.
Yeah, and they said we've been working on it behind the scenes, but here's a little bit, not a taste, but here's just some more stuff, right? I think that they're going to add religion as a legacy path. It at least needs to be added as a, what's it called? Sorry, brain's farting, as like a yield. I think they need to put it back in the game. Yeah, I think faith needs to come back as like a thing, and I could see them putting it as a legacy path, separating it away from culture. I think that would make a ton of sense.
Yeah.
I obviously, again, fully speculative, but just based on the fact that they full on have mentioned we're redoing legacy paths, and that they had mentioned the patch or so before this in the video that they were also working on religion. That just screams to me because religion is very bad right now. I think there are 2 areas that need to be like abruptly changed as well, like within the game beyond just transitions and everything. And I think it's religion. I think it's diplomacy. Those need help in the worst sort of way. So I'm going to go with religion as my other prediction.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think with With legacy paths for me specifically, I think the only one really on my radar is a diplomacy, like a way to use influence to win the game in more of a way than you can do it now, like to win ages and to get actual stat point rewards for using influence would be something I would be looking at. But I don't know. I could see it going, several different ways. I could see there equally, outside of kind of some of this discussion, right? Like with religion or diplomacy, there being like a new almost like mechanic in the game that's separate from legacy paths that can still give you like keys to victory. So like if they added like a world summit like there used to be, right? Like basically a UN, right? And that was like a new way that influence was tied in. Like the first player to meet all the civs does this thing. I mean, literally, like you could reskin that whole thing and it would be good in 7, I think. That doesn't have to be a legacy path, but it can still be a way to manipulate the game and lead you to victory by like putting large scale, like whole game sanctions on different players, different resources, right? Like that larger, like I feel like I'm a part of a game where everyone's interacting with one another in the later parts of the game, like exploration onward, I think is missing. But like to put it in context with what else I think is coming, if you introduce a postmodern age and then you have these kinds of things come in the modern age and the new postmodern age, I think that makes the latter part of the game very interesting all of a sudden. Because that's what I think is missing. I think it's like everyone loves Antiquity. Antiquity's super fun, beginnings of your empire, right? No problems there. I think they can leave it untouched. I'm actually fine with the Pantheon system too. I don't really care. I think it's fine. Exploration, we both have always talked about needs work. It's just like an uninteresting part of the game. It feels very much like the middle child thing, right? Like it's just no one knows what to do 100%. With it. So if you can kind of make it a little bit more appetizing to actually explore an exploration, get through that part of the age, and then you add a new age later in the game, you give influence some more things to do. You maybe, like to your point, Rob, you give religion some more role in the mid to early part of the game. I think all of a sudden you have a really, really fun, complete game, right? It doesn't take, I don't think they're that far from that. So, I don't know. That's the way I can easily see that playing out, though.
Yeah, I could too. I think that, I think that there's a lot of possibility. I think that there is a lot of opportunity as well for them to really revamp this game, like you said, in a big way. Like, if they were willing to bite the bullet, put out another age, I would even say this. As much as it would pain me, you do 5 ages, but you put the 4th one out for free. And you say, hey, we goofed. We were going to charge you for this. They straight up say it, even if it's not true, right? But they tell everybody, hey, we were going to make you pay for this. But as an hour bad, everybody is going to get this new age for free. And then they say, we're going to put a medieval age in the future, but it is going to be paid DLC.
And it's just for Civ House. It's just for Rob.
Just for me.
Yeah.
And there are other people in the comments section that have agreed with me.
Oh, I agree too.
4 months on this.
I agree too.
I know you do. I'm just saying those comment people are in there doing it too. They support me in this medieval age. But yeah, man, I mean, look, it's worth asking because we really don't know. It's not like other games where it feels like there's a path. They're redoing actively right now. They are redoing transitions. They are redoing legacy paths. They are doing it so substantially that they straight up have had to talk about it and say, hey, there are substantial changes coming to this game, right? And I think they had left that open to themselves, when things didn't go maybe the way that they thought that it would. We have seen in the past that they will work on the game. Like you said, the game is more fun than it has ever been, right? And I think that's a good thing. I think getting Genghaskhan is is a really important part of this game. I also will say, I think for the future, we need a couple more notable leaders. And what I mean by that is like, I don't know personally. I've never heard of Lakshmi Bai, but that is not going to be a leader that I'm like jumping at to go play. That's not going to make me buy Right to Rule. Genghaskhan would have been what would have made me buy Right to Rule. I got it because I got the premium edition, but like, with each one of these, I think my last thing I'll say is I think they're twofold with DLC. I think they need to make sure that there is something worth wanting to play in it for a broader group of people.
Yeah.
This is not any comment on cultural things or anything like that, but there has been a Western bias in almost every one of the games from up until now. Now I think it's starting to skew a little bit the other way, and that's great. I think those areas needed some representation, but I think if you're going to try to get the fan base back, right? If you're trying to get people to kind of play again, I think putting in some notable names would do a lot for this. Like even Gandhi, right? I know I'm talking about like Eastern bias, but like there's no Gandhi in the game.
Yeah.
How can you go through a Civ game without Gandhi? I believe I saw a post that it's like one of the big five. It's like Genghaskhan, him, I think Alexander the Great as well, not in the game, right? Like, you need some bigger names. I think that will get people excited to even want to buy the DLC moving forward, because you already got the people who kind of locked in, like us. Now you need the DLC. And my last part about this DLC is going to be, I think they need to have 4 leaders. At least 3, maybe 4 in each one. And I think people will feel a lot better about purchasing it. I think like $10 for a leader and 2 civs makes a lot more sense than 30 for 2 and 4.
Yeah,
I really do. I think you could do that. And there are so many civilizations across time, so many different cultures, so many different things that you can do with this system the way it is. And I'm sorry to those of you who love playing Civ as one Civ and one leader and playing it throughout. This game is just not going to be that. If they were to really change that much of the game, this would basically be an entirely different game. It may happen for Civ 8, but anybody who is holding out any hope of that happening, gone. I don't think that's going to happen. But the good part about that is with DLCs, there are civs upon civs upon civs. You can even do Colonial America at some point if you really wanted to, right? Like stuff like that, because there have been so many cultures and so many times that we have had. So, you know, if you're going to put out a DLC, 3 times a year, I think, 3 leaders, 4 to 6 civs, probably 5 or 6, I think would get it done and people would be more willing to pay $30. But again, I could be just completely speaking, out of my ass here, Connor, and I'm wrong. But that's kind of where I'm at with the DLC.
Yeah. I think it's, like we said, Rob, it's purely speculative in any direction. I think that what we can both say, though, for sure, is that development of the game will not just stop in October. So at the very least, we are going to continue to get things, whether they are DLCs with ages, whether they're just purely more civs and leaders and we stick with the 4 ages. Maybe the game continues to look very much the same and we just continue to get more and more variety. There's not necessarily anything wrong with that. Like, again, I don't know that the game needs an overhaul. And I think that's where the community's split. Some people think it does, some people think it doesn't. I don't know that it necessarily does, but I think at the very least, more variety. And if they overhauled elements of it, I wouldn't be mad. But that's really all I've got, Rob. I mean, until we get some kind of a semblance of a roadmap, it's really hard to say what else could be coming. Any other final thoughts from you on what could be next for Civ 7?
With Trung Ni opening up commanders, I think we'll start to see some more commanders coming into the game as well. Fully expect that to get added into the game at some point.
Yeah.
Would love to see them not lock that behind paid DLC, but I think they may have to. Just as a quick reminder, a lot of decisions that are made at a business level in terms of sales, what things are going for and everything are made by 2K, not made by the Firaxis devs. So do keep that in mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? So there are people who are coming down and commanding them. That's why I, made the distinction between like Eastern and Western bias. If you start seeing a lot more Western stuff, it may be because that's what 2K is pushing onto them. That's why I made that prediction. It has been really cool to see all these new leaders and everything, but I think that may end up being the way that things go. And if you start to see it that way, I really think they want this game to be like Paradox, right? Paradox has really, really taken off in the last decade since the last Civilization was made. I think they're really trying to stick to that sort of, decision tree is what I would call it. And I would not be surprised to see the game, kind of playing out like that. So if you want an idea of what it could look like, go look at Crusader Kings 3. Go look at Stellaris. Go look at Victoria 3. All of those types of strategy games.
Yeah.
I would highly suggest that you will get a better idea of what we could, not will, but could have in our future.
Yeah, it's completely fair. But as always, let us know what you think in the comments. I mean, this is a community that we've built here with a lot of opinions about the game, a lot of really good ones. I mean, we read the comments and are consistently inspired by what we're reading. So let us know what you all think could be coming next for Civ 7. We'll continue to be making content here in the meantime, and obviously covering Right to Rule. we'll continue to update all of our tier lists and pairings and all that soon to come. So stick with us here at Civ House. We'll keep making some good content for y'all. But that is going to do it from our house to yours. We hope you'll join us for one more turn. We'll see you all next time.